Oh, right. I'm Drea.
I'm Meg.
I'm Tina.
And I'm Jess.
And this is Pardon My Stash. Welcome to Pardon My Stash, a podcast about knitting within the fiber arts and how awesome it is. Before we get started on this week's topics, let's find out what everybody's working on this week. Drea.
Plugging away on that Akemi shawl.
Great. Meg.
I'm like, oh
jerk. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Drea.
It's in jeans.
It's in jeans. Shawl,
I'm making
jeans. Got it. Go.
I'm still plugging away on the Akemi shawl. I'm like in the home stretch. I have like less than 10 rows.
Yay! Oh, that's an applause time.
Yep. I was working on it today this morning. I had an appointment and I had two little ladies tell me that I was doing a beautiful job.
Aww,
I know. It was
sweet.
such like a... It gave me fuel.
Pick
like,
you up.
Yeah, it was a pick
sometimes
me
you
up.
just need that.
Oh, I really did. This one lady, she was like, oh, it looks like you're doing like a lace pattern. Can you tell me about it? And I was like, yeah.
She wanted to hear about it
She
too.
did.
That's cute.
It was so nice.
That's very cute.
So I'm in the home stretch. I have motivation to do this. Maybe next week it will be done.
Woo!
That's exciting.
It's ambitious, but I feel like I can do it.
Meg?
I am working on Lovely Stripes by Leah Michelle Designs. I am working on it in the Jesus Christ. What's wrong with me tonight? I am using Critical Hit dyes barred fingering in the discontinued colorway Sapphire Dragon. I am about 2/3 of the way done. I have 3 sections to go after this one. Each section is about 24 rows. So I would love to say I'll be done next week. I'm not going to be done next week. Let's be honest. I'm not going to be done next week. I think it'll be done by the end of August. I haven't been knitting very much. I've been doing just other stuff.
I mean, you've been pumping out a lot of different stuff though. Like you were working on that sweater before.
I haven't finished any of them.
No, I know, but you put a lot of work into it. Just because,
I know. No, I know.
You don't need to finish something to not do progress.
I'm getting really frustrated because it's like there have been I'm gonna finish it. I gotta pull that back. I was working on Calliope and I was loving working on Calliope, and then it got humid. And I cannot work with mohair when it's this humid. It's just not a thing. And that's why I started working on this, because I can work with silk yarn when it's humid all day long, like no big deal. But I am more getting frustrated because at this point now I've cast on 3 projects this summer, and I usually try to be a little more like restrained. And I had good reasons for casting on all 3, but I'm not finishing any of them. And that's what's frustrating me, because then I get frustrated where I'm at that point where you're starting to get sick of them, but you just want them to be done. So
I mean, you could just pull a me and just rip out all of them.
No, I
went from 17 whips to I think I have 2 now. No, 3. I have 3.
Well,
you could do the same.
No,
and they're all in my backpack to remind me that I have those.
You have 17 whips in your backpack.
I had.
That's a lot.
I had 17. I had 17. I pulled out all of them except for 3.
Were you really carrying around 17?
No, she was.
I was carrying around 6.
Oh, okay.
At a time.
Got it.
That's
Now
why I
she's
couldn't
carrying
fit.
around 3.
That's why I couldn't fit anything into my backpack.
No, I'd explain a lot.
Okay.
You ever notice that my backpack's like heaving over all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because there was 6 whips in it at a
Very
time.
good.
I mean, at least you always had
options.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
until
a
it
good
got to the
thing.
bottom of the backpack and I would forget what's down there. And
Then it becomes a surprise.
And then it wasn't an improvement.
Jess?
I am working on a phoenix. It's like an amigurumi, like a stuffed animal phoenix, by Crafty Intent. And it looks all cute, but it's just
does
like
look cute.
a bean with a bird head. And I
No,
love it.
it's got ruffles for the
I
butt.
do. I have head ruffles and a tail ruffle started. So I'm getting there. You got to do all the pieces first. I'm using an old version of Critical Hit Dye's Fireball. It's one of the first ones. And then for like the beak and the feet, I'm going to be using Plies and Hellhounds Day.
Nice.
Oh, that just reminded me of the Plies and Hellhounds we have
Yeah.
for that shawl that we're planned on making.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
Yeah.
guys do have
We're gonna
that.
do
yeah.
the spider shawl.
I'm gonna do it with the spiders.
Now's a good time.
Spiders.
Now is a good time.
Crank out that fourth whip.
Why the heck not?
What are you working on, Tina?
Right now, so as I mentioned before, I have removed many of my whips and chain. No, and just kidding. And I am down to my youngest daughter's sweater, which was what I'm working on right now, which is the Southwood by Gate of House Yarn. I will warn you, if you make the Southwood, actually go by the measurements. Do not go by the ages that they set there because they are wrong. They are completely incorrect. When I made the first one for my older daughter, I went by the age and it was massive on her. I don't know if my children are just particularly petite, but then I was like looking at the measurements and it was like, it said like a 10-year-old was like a 32-inch bust. And I'm like, that's not accurate at all.
Wow.
That is way too big.
big bust.
So right now, I think technically I'm making the 2 to 4 year size, but I measured her chest and I'm like, this is her size. Okay.
Yeah.
And I could adjust the length. It's just a basic raglan. It's nothing fancy. And then I still have my Stormy Sky shawl and I still have my double horn scarf sample that I refuse to pull out because it looks so good in that rainbow yarn.
Yeah.
And in terms of yarn I'm using for Little Mrs. Sweater, it's rainbow yarn from a big box store, which is highly ironic considering which big box it came from. I'll leave it at that. Be sure to check out our website, partofmystash.com, for more information as well as pictures regarding our current projects, patterns, and yarns. All right. I just want to remind you all that there's 44 days till September.
You just shut your mouth. This is like a war crime against me. You realize that.
I counted.
A war crime. You're an awful person too.
I'm your friend.
No. My friends would not remind me that school is coming, okay?
I'm not trying to remind you that school is coming. I'm trying to remind you all that if you were going to make things for the fall, such as things to sell at craft shows, or things that you were going to wear in the fall, or if you were trying to get prepped for your Christmas items, you are running out of time.
You're just bringing all the joy
Now's
today.
the time to start.
So
Guys, is it Christmas? It's Christmas already.
No.
Are you sure?
Dre is not exactly wrong. Today we are going to talk about Christmas in July. So do we have, let's just start it this way and just keep it cash. Do we have any, you like it? You like my word there?
As opposed to
Right?
like formal, where we like pull out the monocles and the top hats and record.
We're very formal here. We have lots of formalities, okay? Such as...
You couldn't even say that with a straight face.
Anyways, what are projects that you are looking forward to in the fall? Anything that you may be thinking about, like, hey, like I either want to wear the thing I finished already, not me, or I want to. There's a project I really want to start now so that it's ready for the nice fall, wintry weather that's coming.
I am looking forward to wearing my sweater again, for the cooler weather so that it's appropriate to wear it. But I still have to weave in the ends from when I made it shorter, because it was hanging a lot and it was like practically down to my ankles. Like it was heavy, so it elongated as it was worn too much.
Now that you say that, I feel like I need to do that with my harvest cardigan.
Yeah.
Because at this point it hides my hands. I feel like a toddler.
Yeah.
I'm like, wee! So I think I need to do some sweater surgery and put it under and take some pieces off.
Yeah. But as soon as I do that, then I can wear it again. But I also want to work on that spider shawl that you and I talked about doing.
I would love that.
Last year.
I know.
We got the yarn for it.
Mm-hmm. With Plies and Hellhounds.
Yep, Plies and Hellhounds. It's going to be beautiful once it's done. We're going to be matchies.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to finish this one first.
You're so close, though.
I am so close.
Yeah. I mean, when you're
And it's all
in-
easy, too.
Yeah.
It's like garter, a couple of baubles, and then garter, and I'm done.
Nice. About you, Meg?
Well, I'm looking forward to finishing my Calliope sweater just because it's going to be really warm and cozy. I unfortunately can't. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I can't wear my Rhinebeck sweater anymore because I made it pre-surgery, so it doesn't fit my rack anymore. So
Sweater surgery time?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that one. I would literally have to redo the entire sweater from the neck down for that one to take in the bust. So Drea wants to try it on, and if
I do
it
wanna
fits
try
her,
it on.
then she can have it. I will be sad to lose it, but it's not going to fit me anymore. The other thing, Jess and I were actually talking today, speaking of matching shawls, we have a bunch of yarn that I was like, I kind of want to use it to make a fade shawl, specifically Free Your Fade by Andrea Mowry. And Jess was like, oh my God, I love that. And I'm like, okay, but if we cut all those skeins in half, we could each make a shawl because they don't require all of it. So we are also going to make matchy shawls.
Nice.
I know. So that's something we're looking forward to doing. Probably going to start it after Rhinebeck. I don't know. I don't have any like gift knitting planned at this time. Yeah, I keep coming up with ideas and scrapping them. So yeah,
I feel like that there's too many people at this point. There's actually too many people that I want to gift for.
Right,
and I feel like if I start with a couple, then I'm going to have to do the rest.
right.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like there's babies everywhere. I don't know what happened.
We're at that
I had
age.
my babies younger, so my kids are closing into the double digits, and everyone else is like, I got a newborn. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to make baby blankets everywhere. And then I'm like, I can't. I absolutely cannot.
Yeah, and that's
too much.
That's a part of it.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, it's like I have come to grips of knowing myself as a knitter, especially like the thinner the weight of the yarn, the longer it is going to take me.
Yeah.
Fingering weight stuff takes me forever. I love knitting with fingering weight, like I do, but I cannot gift with fingering weight.
Yeah, this shawl has taken me forever.
Yeah, it does. It's just, and it comes out great. You love doing it. It's all about the process. It feels fantastic, but
It's beautiful.
you know what? Like, I don't know if I can gift a fingering weight anything at this point anymore because it just takes me so long.
Meanwhile, I put in my queue an Orchard House shawl for my cousin, which is fingering weight
Well,
and lots of bubbles.
I mean,
I mean, she'll get it, in 6 years, and that's fine.
But I think that's
She's
another
prepared for
thing.
that.
That's another thing is if you're making a gift for like some time in the future,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a deadline. Fine. Like, but if you're making a baby blanket, that has a deadline,
yeah,
presumably.
to a degree, it definitely needs.
Baby
to kinda happen
garments
at a
have
certain
some
point.
sort of a deadline, so it's a lot harder. We're being really helpful with talking about gift knits, like really helpful.
Jess, do you have any plans besides your matchy shawl?
I have another sweater idea. We'll see if that happens
For you or for somebody else?
for somebody else.
Is it for me?
No.
Fine.
So there's that. That's on the burner. I don't know. I may do some more potion bottles because they're tiny and cute.
They are tiny and cute.
But I need to find more keychains that I like because I don't like the keychains that I got recently.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. They don't carry them. It's obnoxious, but I don't know what they're called, so I can't just look them up online. I'm gonna have to do some
Keychains?
research. No, they have it's a specific clasp
Oh.
kind of keychain.
This is me just walking into the store buying some keychains and just being like, these are the wrong ones.
I can't. I like they'll work. I'll use them, but I like
Sorry.
the other ones better. It's just a need. I don't know. I know I had like a list of stuff at the beginning of the year, and then I was sort of like, I got distracted. Like
Isn't
this,
that how it goes,
This
though?
Phoenix wasn't on it, but
No, this wasn't
Now
on
it
mine
is.
either.
It was needed.
it was needed. Oh, I'm gonna do another shawl using like the actual like fireball we stuck with for critical hit dies, because I found a cool like all these like sort of mini shawls, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And off the top of my head I can't remember anything else about it except for I thought it was really cool and I was gonna use fireball, so I'll have to like look that up and tell you guys the names of everything. I want to say it was Lord of the Rings like inspired, but yeah,
I like that.
I know, so I'll
Is there a Treebeard one?
I don't know,
Is there a
man.
Boromir one?
There was
They're
like
the two best characters.
there was like the One Ring one. There was like there might be a Treebeard one.
You know what? That's appropriate for Treebeard.
For Treebeard, yeah. Boromir though, man, Boromir needs something more. Boromir is a great character.
He is.
Like,
Boromir and Treebeard. They're like up there.
All right, let's
Top-
get out
top
of
five,
let's get out of
easily.
Lord of the Rings because I might melt.
Well, what about you, Tina? What are you looking forward to for the fall?
Well, actually, hilariously enough, I just bought a ton of chunky weight stuff from Critical Hit Die, and the reason why I did is because that is my plan. Is I want to make a bunch of chunky weight like hats,
Yeah.
scarves, and mittens.
Freaking love working
For
with
children.
chunky with bulky weight yarn. I
But
love
then,
it.
like, especially children's size. It
Yes.
like, it's
Flies off the
done in
needles,
5
gives you the
minutes.
greatest high
Oh,
that
I'm
you
so
get
excited.
in knitting.
Well, to be fair, like my kid, I don't know why. There's a part of me that's like, why am I doing this for my children? They lose all of the things I ever give them ever, especially when it comes to like hats and gloves and scarves.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that if I give them something like really nice, like it's like a special thing from mommy, all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I got to put it in its special spot. And they get like really weird about it. So I'm like, okay, all right, this might work. This might work. I want to do that for them. I bought them originally one colorway. They saw the other colorway, and now I have to get Megan just to probably make more yarn for me because I don't think I have enough. But we'll see how that goes. And honestly, like outside of like Joe's sweater that I feel like I need to finish because she's been asking for it for like 3 years. I don't have any like crazy plans. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm trying not to give myself too many deadlines, but
Yeah. That's the goal right there.
but like, you know, on that note, I feel like I always go through like in terms of like businessy stuff. I'm like, yeah, this fall I'm gonna do like all I'm gonna shows and I'm gonna like make all these things and I'm gonna have this awesome display. And then like I don't know what it is. I don't know if this happens to anybody else. But like I have this visual of like this really cute setup, and then I'm like, what the hell am I selling? I have nothing to sell. And I'm like, why am I like but like I have like I'm like, oh, and then I'd like put this here and I'd have this there, and like I have the whole booth in my head. And then I'm like, I don't
For what?
for what? And then I'm like, I have to make stuff. And then I go down that rabbit hole, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I would have to make a lot of stuff,
You would have to make a lot of stuff.
and I would have to commit to it, and I'd have to sit there and make probably the same thing over and over and over again, and that's where me and Jess get along because like I cannot
there are a few things that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but yeah, usually I'm like, no, I'm good.
Oh no, there's plenty of things that I could just sit there and like finish, immediately cast on again.
Sunday swing.
Absolutely. Always.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Forever and ever. Amen.
but like a stocknet hat.
if I enjoyed the yarn enough, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, suspicious of me.
Sometimes
I
that's
know,
just
right?
what I need.
I feel like I would maybe do 2, and then I'd be like, wow, I need to make a different hat or a different thing altogether. It just
That's
my focus would just completely leave me.
So that's why I say I like the potion bottles because I make a different potion every time.
Different color.
Yeah, a different color is a different potion. So it holds my interest for at least like 3. And then I'm like, okay. I gotta
Are
do
you
something
going to
else.
create a potion that gives you uncontrollable giggles the entire time
Oh,
that
listen.
you are under its effect?
I don't think we need that at this table.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good on that.
Okay, so we have some like vague plans of what we're gonna do for the fall. So all right, it's July though, and we're all dying of heat stroke. So
Yeah, it's been pretty nasty.
I'm so hostile about this weather. I'm so hostile about it. Like, I'm so
really
mad.
is.
Like, literally. Jess is so sick of me stomping around the house going, is it ever going to stop raining?
Like the humidity is offensive, and I said that to my hairstylist, and he lost it. Like
It's
he loved
true.
it. He loved it.
It's
He
true.
started saying it to everybody.
It is
I swear to God.
offensive.
Anyway,
When you have hair like mine, yes. It's
no,
offensive.
You know what? That's fair.
When I walk around looking like an alpaca every day, yeah, it's offensive.
Oh, but alpacas are so cute. Don't look at me like
Wow. If looks could kill, good thing it doesn't come through the
I just
microphone.
want you to know that recently I've been getting ads in my feed. They're like, you need to buy this alpaca sweater. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need to buy that.
Right this second,
I definitely
in
don't
fact
need
do not.
that.
With that in mind, the question I wanted to ask was, how do you knit hot weather? No. How do you knit?
How do you
Left me.
knit cold
How do you
weather
knit?
items in hot weather?
Heat bad, knit hot.
You knit heat bad knit hot. That was like poetry. That was like, you know, refrigerator word art. That was what that just was.
Are you trying to make like haiku?
What did I just witness?
Okay, I got this. It's hot, and you got thing that's gonna make you hot in your hands.
In your hand.
Do you need help with this question?
Was you getting it?
It's not working. Oh my god, I'm crying. Okay. If you're trying to knit something that's very heavy and can make you hot in the summer, how do you go about doing that without dying?
Blast the AC.
Thank you, Drea.
Oh, I'm just like,
Why are you?
You got
Why
it
are
out.
you moaning? Oh.
Oh, good heavens.
You know what? She did have it, and then we lost it again. Okay, so there's blast.
It's on the tape,
We got blast the AC.
That's it. That's the solution. You're either going to blast the AC or you're going to live somewhere that doesn't experience
Hang
weather
on, I'm
like
knitting
this.
a mohair sweater. Let me move to the Arctic.
Yeah.
Complete it.
Look, I'm not making the options. Those are only those are the only options. Okay.
Just because you're making something for the winter months doesn't necessarily mean that it is a bulky, hot, heavy
Thing.
garment. Yeah, I mean, Jess never knits anything bulky, hot, or heavy. Ever. Yeah.
No.
Even her sweater was made out of very light fingering weight.
I try,
yarn.
dude. My hands, like, they get sweaty. They break out. I get like little dots that peel. It's disgusting. So I don't do.
The only thing that really bothers me to knit in the summer is mohair. I can knit almost anything else. Oh, and I don't want to knit a big, bulky project like a blanket. But I'll knit anything else in the summer, even if it's warm. I mean, honestly, I've been doing a lot of knitting on the porch, and we don't have air conditioning out there, so I just turn on the little tower fan, and
It's a nice
and that suffices without the AC. But also knitting at like either early in the morning or late at night. Same thing with exercising. Like knit when it's not as hot or humid.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
You can do that too.
I also find that I generally like to use my machine a lot more often in the summer.
fair.
Because
yeah.
sometimes if I'm like, okay, I know I want to make like a bunch of charity hats. Okay, so I can crank those out without them sitting on my lap or in my hands. And they're
Yeah.
like, and they tend to be like wool or like bulky, like they are like wool or like heavy kind of
Yeah.
things. So I find I can get through them on the machine really quick and then move on and find something else that's a little bit cooler to deal with. But
Yeah.
Fair. You can find there are patterns made for like summer wearing. I still probably would not wear anything woolen or knit, but there's plenty of tops that people make and things that you can do for the summer months if you want to like knit something and then be able to like actually show it off in the summer, like
A tank top.
Yeah,
or-
they do exist. I have seen them.
you know, one thing though that for me at least, because I feel like I can say this now as an authority because I've made 2 of them. Bags are so much easier to make crochet than knit.
Yeah.
Like, I've made knit bags, and they're really popular in the summer, and that's why I'm bringing them up, because like in the summer, that's like usually what I hear about is people going like, oh, I want like a mesh like knit bag for like my farm vegetables that I'm getting from the produce stand, and like whatever. No, I swear to God. So instead, like, but I've made 2 of them. One of them was more solid, and then the other one was more lacy. They take a ton of time when you knit, because they're just, I don't know why, but it just, the ones that I make, at least even in like a worsted weight, they just take so much time, where I feel like with crochet they're just like, you just pop them out, like they just get done a lot faster. Maybe it's just Instagram reels going really fast, but I feel like when I make knit bags, they go really slow. I quickly made a bag when I was in North Carolina for someone who was leaving the wine bar that we used to go to for one of our meetups, and I thought it was like, oh, this will go so fast. I was like up till like midnight trying to make that bag, because I was like, oh my God, this handle is taking forever. There's only like 6 stitches across. Why is this taking so long? It's really monotonous. And yeah, I have feels about it. Which leads me to my other point, because this is turning into an ADHD thing. I want to make crochet bags.
So do it.
I have to teach myself how to crochet first. Not as poorly as I do now.
Well, it's a good thing you have a crochet master at this table.
I know.
They're
Like a
crochet master,
ninja.
guys. I've already told you I was crocheting backwards for like
Yeah, but you're good now. You showed me how to crochet, and I that was a thing. I crocheted squares.
You even taught
I
Meg.
did.
Even Meg. That sounded so terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, the original one.
The
was
original
bad, too.
even Meg was even funnier.
Oh my God.
How do we determine now what we're going to be making for Christmas?
I like to try to be really pragmatic with the schedule and be like, okay,
That's fair.
if so far this year I have managed to complete 2 items, maybe I shouldn't put 9 for Christmas on the list.
That's fair.
Like, I feel like a lot of times people, and especially people that are just really starting out, and they realize that they can knit, and they're like, oh, I can make scarves. Fantastic. Christmas is in the bag. And that's great. Like, I'm definitely not trying to dissuade anybody from making Christmas presents, but it's also important to remember what you're actually capable of knitting in a finite amount of time, and don't stress yourself out like that. And maybe not everybody on your list needs a hand knit item. You can get them a book. Like, you don't need to do that to yourself. So I think like looking at your schedule and really being like honest with yourself about how much time you have, how much time you actually want to spend knitting, how much
long
time
does
you
it
want to
take you?
spend knitting things that are like, that have a deadline that you actually need to finish in a certain amount of time, and then go from there. And maybe that turns out being one thing. Maybe it turns out being no things. But then at least you're not setting yourself up for crushing failure when you're freaking out 2 weeks before Christmas and you have accomplished literally, half of the list or none of the list, and all you've done is stress yourself out. I think it's really important to know what your, I don't mean limits are like capability wise.
Yeah.
No, not even capability wise. Just like, I mean, here's the thing. If I really want to, I can crank out, like, I'll be generous. I had a week. Like if I want to, that's going to stress me out. That's a lot of knitting. And that means I have to put aside a lot of other things that I might want to do.
Yeah.
So also not even just your capability, but how do you want to spend your time? Do you want to spend your time cranking out
Or you
like
would
I
wanna
had
do
a
other
week from
things.
now until Christmas? Or do you maybe want to cull that list down a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know how to schedule myself. I always overcommit in my brain, not like to other people, but like in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to do all these things. It's going to be great. I'm going to do 20 things and I'm going to finish them all in 2 hours. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I also do that.
And then 2 hours go by and I finish something that was not part of the 20 things.
I know that feeling.
And then you're like, crap, I
still have 20
did something.
things to do.
Yep. And now I have
Yeah.
less time. And now I'm getting upset with myself when I did not need to do that.
I think honestly this year I need to not subscribe myself to committing as many finished knit items, just because I want to do other things outside of knitting this
Right.
year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I want to do, in particular with like my coding stuff. So like I need to finish.
Prioritize.
Yeah, I feel like I need to finish. If I finish that stuff earlier than I think it's going to take me, which already I'm a little bit ahead of time with that, then I think I can start like, okay, well, maybe I'll make this person something for Christmas. But in the meantime, I just think committing to any kind of Christmas gift right now is really, really bad news bears for me. I shouldn't be doing that. I should just try to finish one thing, because I don't think I finished. I don't even know if I finished. Did I finish a project this year?
Yeah, you did. You knit a little sweater. Remember? You knit like a baby sweater.
The pink one.
Yeah. Because I put it on the blog.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that guy was really nice. I
Yeah.
remember that guy.
So you have.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like,
That wasn't even somebody I knew, just so you know.
Yeah.
It was like my husband's coworker.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I remember.
He really liked it.
but yeah, it's probably not a great time to be like, I'm going to commit to 6 things by Christmas.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
that's probably not a good. And you know what? Some years, like I had a great, I did not have a great 2021 in the respect that like a lot of stuff happened that was not great, but I rediscovered how much I love knitting, and I just like plowed through projects because my kid was a little baby and I was home with her, and COVID, no, it was 2020, not 2021. COVID sucked and I had like very little else to do. So I was knitting all the time. And I cranked out a ton of projects, and you know, I could look back and be like, look at that, I'm capable of producing this many projects in a year. But then I also look at like, okay, I was between jobs, I had a toddler at home, like there were a lot of other things going on. So to take that productivity and apply it to today and the things that I'm doing today
Is like
is
oh,
just
wait.
like setting yourself up for misery. I can't crank out that much in the current state that I'm in right now. It's not possible. And that's not a problem. I just have other stuff going on and other things that I need to do and things I'd rather do.
Anyone on my mental health team was listening to this episode right now, they'd be like, Christina, if you try to commit to anything right now, I swear to God. No, because like honestly, the goal of this year has been reduce, because my health is just more important than anything. And I have been doing really, really well, but then it's like it's like the same thing. Like I look back on my Ravelry, like, you know, that challenge thing.
Yes.
And it's like some of those years I was in like the 20s, and I'm like,
there was a Ravelry challenge.
Every single year they're like,
It's-
how many things do you want to do in this year?
Yeah.
And you
It's
can
not
you
like-
can set it
yeah.
or you could not.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
it's not like an actual like
no. You're
thing
just
that you sign
saying,
up
what
for.
What do you want to do this year? There's no like prize. There's no like
You're
It's just
consequence.
like what?
you're basically like setting yourself like a number of projects you'd like to finish this year.
It's like the way Goodreads has a reading challenge. Like how many
Okay.
books do you want to
Okay.
read in a year? Like
But I think even just that whole premise is like bad news bears. Like I don't want to be a quantity of numbers. Of things that I finished. I just want to enjoy.
You want to be a quality of
I
product.
need to turn into a progress knitter, not a product knitter.
Yeah.
I absolutely do need to do that, because if I don't convert into that, I'm gonna like have issues. So
Well,
I'm
it's
trying.
important to know yourself.
Yeah, I just know that if I keep tying my self-worth to a quantity number rather than a quality or an experience, it's just going to keep like making me stressed out.
Yeah,
So-
it's going to take the joy out of doing something that you love.
And everyone is different. Like you
right.
gotta-
There are some people that thrive on that, on hitting the benchmark and getting the numbers in. But
I thought I did, and I don't.
yeah, and there's nothing wrong with either way. But the other thing to remember at the end of the day is it's art, and we're not machines, and you can't expect yourself to crank out more than you're actually comfortable doing.
Yeah.
So
Man.
big come away is just make sure you're having fun, guys. Like make sure you are enjoying what you are doing. Because otherwise, yeah, why are you doing it? I mean, I guess unless it is really your job, in which case, sorry. You got to
Listen, we all know knitting is just boundless joy 24/7. I mean, you've seen me drop stitches.
Oh God.
You know, that's just boundless joy right there.
Well, I mean, that's why you work an 8-hour day, right? Max? That you're supposed to,
right?
anyway.
Right,
An 8-hour
for
day
quality of life,
because
right.
it's not even quality of life; it's quality of your work. Because
That
after
too.
a certain number of hours, you just turn into a terrible worker.
Yeah.
you really do. Like I
It's
love
true.
it when people are like, "Yeah, I put in a 12-hour day at work." I'm like, wow, it sounds like you were productive for 6 hours, and then for 6 hours you did terrible things that you're going to have to fix tomorrow for another 6 hours, and then put another. Yeah, no, that sounds like a terrible cycle. Let's not do that. It's like there's tons, and if you disagree with me, just look, there's tons of studies. There's tons of like the productivity levels after a certain point literally just drop because people's brains need a break. You can't
you
just
can't
keep
focus
doing
that
the
long.
same thing over and over and over again, even if it's like a
You gotta
different
branch.
yeah, even if it's a different project, if it's in the same vein of work, like you just need to, switch your brain. And obviously everyone's brain's different. And if you have more of a neurodivergent brain and you're like, wow, I really need like changes and differences to keep my mind occupied, then that affects you even more. But
If you're really up to a challenge for like a gift knit, the Jenica hat is like so good.
oh, it's so pretty though.
It is so pretty. I love that hat.
That was a good one.
I made it as a gift to me, but man, that would be like a baller hat to give to somebody else.
What was that headband that we like made together? Like you made one for
Starship or
Was
something?
it Stratus?
Yeah, Stratus.
Starship. I mean,
Oh my god!
yeah. So that Stratus headband looks really complicated, but it's, not.
Yeah,
And it
even
looks.
I have done a few
Yeah, and it looks
at the last minute.
Yeah, you can get them done at the last minute. You knit it flat and then you join it, and it's really pretty. The way it comes out, it's just this kind of ribbed looking headband. And I'm pretty sure, isn't this bulky? No. Worsted. I saw I used Malabrigo. I assumed it was bulky. But yeah, that headband in particular is a really good go-to for like a last minute. When I say last minute gift, I mean like you have a couple weeks, not do it tonight for tomorrow. Like, don't do that to yourself, please.
Oh yeah, jeez.
Yeah, I won't be doing that again. That's crazy.
If I were if I needed a hat like last minute to bang out to for work or whatever, which I've had to do, I would say the Utrecht beanie by Dutch Girl Creations. And super bulky. I have knit that in one day. And it's really fast. It's really easy. If you have more time, honestly, I think a really good solid gift, cocoa bean.
Oh,
It's that is one of the most like popular like fashion hats like styles with the
It's been
different
ripped off
ribbings.
so many times.
It has been, but the reason is because it's so
Yeah.
super popular. So
Yeah.
it's a crowd pleaser. Like I would definitely say that's a good one. Everybody likes that style. It's a really good style.
It
so,
is.
And granted, not everybody likes hats, but if you're gonna make a hat, and you don't know somebody's preference, I think that's probably one of the best like risks you could take. Is cocoa
I
bean.
love my cocoa bean.
I feel like I have. Oh, I have a green one that's way oversized. It has a similar problem that your sweater has because it's made of cotton as well.
Yeah.
And it blew up. And every
It
so
did.
often I have to throw it in the dryer to shrink it back down.
Yes, you do.
It's a comfy hat though.
It's a nice hat.
I made it out of dishy. Yeah, I know.
I never ended up walking.
that
Go
tracks
ahead.
then.
Where's the judgment? Bring me the judgment.
No, that just tracks for the way it behaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No judgment. It's just
What about you, Jess?
I mean, not gonna lie, there was one year where I totally just crocheted up a bunch of soot monsters.
I still have some of those.
They were
I
like-
Are you trying to tell me something? Last minute you forgot about me. It's all right. Whatever.
no.
I'll live with it.
You
what
got a
is it?
sushi fish too. Like then
I
that
did.
took more time.
I
so
did. I love
you
the
just
sushi
like
fish.
the suit monsters. The suit monsters from Spirited Away.
Yeah.
I had some fuzzy black yarn and
Soot.
some googly eyes,
Yeah.
and I just
I don't remember
so-
those.
yep.
Yeah, I recently found them. Like I
I
definitely
made
still
a
have them.
bunch. a lot of like not everybody got them, but I just I made a bunch of them. But yeah, otherwise, like guys, I'm 100% not gonna lie because I know how I am with crafting, especially around the holidays and where I get distracted and whatnot. So it's like, you get a gift card and you get a gift card.
Do you know what? That's okay too, though.
Yeah, it really is.
You gotta know yourself. So yeah, time is short. The holidays are coming.
Yeah, I usually do not do a last minute like, oh crap, I didn't get this person something. I will like, turn out a bulky hat, which looks amazing, but then I would pick up yarn and be like, bleh. No.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. Most of the time, if I'm doing a knit, I do have to plan it way in advance. And if I get to a cutoff point and I haven't gotten to where I need to be for it, I'm like, I'm getting this person something else. And then if I finish it, awesome. But if I don't, I have something else. So no stress.
It's good backups.
Yeah.
I feel like this year I was thinking about this last year, is that for the three of us, or three of you plus me, I would want to like get us like an experience rather than like I want to go like hug the goats as a group.
Hug the goats. I love it.
There's a place to go hug goats, like by my house. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would rather
more
do,
of an
rather than like well, it could
than
still be
busting
like
your butt.
somewhat fibery farmer
Right.
or whatever related, but like
Rather than
rather
stressing.
than like, okay, I'm just gonna quickly Amazon things, and then I don't like any of the Amazon things, and I'm gonna Etsy things. I'm gonna go, why is this taking 3 months to ship? And then
Because it's Etsy.
I know, and then. And so I feel like I thought about that last year, and I was like, I really want to do an experience together, because I think some of my family members have been doing that with my kids, and I feel like that they're really enjoying the experiences more than the stuff.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
that's it for this week's topics. For additional content and opportunities to connect with the cast, check out our website at pardonmystash.com. Be sure to tune in next week for more laughs, tears, and Drea.
Me?
At Pardon My Stash.